Okay, here's a video on some modifications I made to a Harbor Freight 1-ton press. This is an inexpensive press. I think I got it for under 50 bucks with the coupons and such that I had, and so I just felt I was gonna buy it and I could maybe use it for some of the leather stamping is what I basically wanted to use it for, and maybe some rivets or snaps. Now, coming right out of the box, I needed modifications for it, so one of the things I did was I had to do something with the ram. I ended up drilling a 1/2-inch hole in the bottom of the ram, and so I could use this item right here, which is the stamping tool that works on all my larger stamps, like say for instance this stamp right here. Works really well with it, and I was really quite impressed with what I got out of it once I got the torque down. Now, I had to make some changes for torque, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I saw a lot of things on the internet, and some people use breaker bars, some people use this, that, and the other thing. Some people even went and had this piece machined. For 50 bucks, I didn't think any of that was worth it, but I still wanted to get some push and increase this power. So I ended up at the same Harbor Freight. I went back to it, and I bought this wrecking bar that fits in there, and it's made to have some torque on it. And it fit in there. It's just a little loose, but it tightens down real good with that end tightener. And I put that on there, plus an additional piece of about a 10.5-inch piece of 1/2-inch pipe with the set screw in it. And this sucker really will bear down on things, and I know that from experience now, because I originally started out for a base. There's the original base plate, but I didn't want to use my leather against that metal. I wanted something smooth, like what we have here, like this fake countertop. But as you can see, I put a pin in there, a roll pin, to fit into the hole over here. And because of what it is, this piece right here, this opening, I thought that might hold up, but with the extra pressure it doesn't, and it busted this piece completely out. So what I did is I put a piece of plate that I had, took another piece of this, put a roll pin in there again. It's a 1/4-inch roll pin. You got to make the hole a little bit bigger to make it fit, but it fits down in there nice and gives you a nice smooth operational surface there. I had some problems with figuring out what I was going to do for the 1/2-inch because of the 1/2-inch hole I drilled. What was I going to use for the smaller tools? Here's a piece right here that I took out of a base of 1/2-inch roll. I forget what size drill bit's in it, but it seems to fit some of my tools. And there's one of my that would be a snap tool set that I have, and I put a 1/4-inch. Again, I tapped it for a 1/4-inch set screw. That works pretty good, but I had some that were bigger, like this veining tool, for instance. It was the diameter of this against the 1/2-inch. You don't have any wall left. Well, I found some 1/2-inch OD stainless steel tubing I had laying around, and I don't know exactly where I got it, but I've had it for a long time, and I ended up just tack welding a nut on there and put a set screw in it. And I didn't know if that was going to be such a great deal, but it fits solidly up in there, and I'm happy with the product because well, that's a veining tool there. And here's some of the veining that I did on a strap that was going to go to a Gladius sheath that I made for a Gladius sword. There's the that'd be the sheath that I made right there, and there's the rings that this stuff's going to fit into. But anyway, back to this Harbor Freight press. It's with this torque, the new handle, and I also cut out the 2 teeth on the bottom. As you can maybe see, I don't think you can see from that angle, but you'll be able to see when I bring this around. You can see right in there how I cut those two teeth out, and that works as for a ratchet tool. Some people were putting ratchets on these, and I found that you can get what you want with that. And I got these ideas from people like I think Kevin Robinson on the internet. He had some excellent stuff on this press, and I think I got the idea from him. I put some those are Harbor Freight magnets. You get 2 for $1, and they work that you can set some of your tools and stuff on there, the magnetic tools. A lot of people put a plywood or wood base to it so they can set this thing down somewhere. Well, I found that with all the torque I got, including busting that piece of counter, that just a cheap clamp on the back of that works good, and you can move the press to someplace else if you need to. Lastly, I bought this is a chuck that it's a 3/8 chuck with a magnet on the back side. It's a powerful magnet. I got this from Matthews Engineering, and that fits nicely underneath this right here, underneath the ram, and you can use that for projects. But for me, it only works for maybe the stamping, because the magnet is so heavy. Unless you got 100% brass or something like that, if you got metal rivets or metal snaps, it's going to want to jiggle them all around on that, and it's just going to want to magnetize everything right up right away to it. It doesn't seem to work real well unless you have some positive way to hold it. And like say for me, I've just got an anvil like that to work with. But all in all, this press here is doing me what I wanted it to do, and I'm pretty happy with it. If you're looking for some kind of a fine piece of machined equipment, don't buy this guy here because it's definitely not a fine piece of machinery, but it's a functional piece, and I find that it works everything for my limited amount of pressing and snaps that I do. I can see it's going to be have a pretty good future in my tool repertoire. So hope you enjoyed this, and if you can get anything out of it, I hope that it works for you. Anyway, a few ideas, and you have a good day.